She lives in the heart of France. In the quiet glow of a Parisian morning, when the sun gently spreads gold over the rooftops, Elise steps onto her balcony. Her small apartment sits on the fourth floor of a century-old building, its railings wrapped with ivy and wildflowers she planted herself. She lifts her cup of warm café au lait, lets the steam touch her face, and watches the world awaken beneath her. The bakery across the street opens its doors. The scent of buttered croissants floats through the air. And Paris, as always, feels like it is breathing poetry. Every morning, she makes a ritual of it: breakfast on her balcony, the soft clink of her porcelain plate, the quiet turning of newspaper pages, birds gliding between chimneys. This is the rhythm of her solitude, a solitude she has learned to love. Later, she walks to her favorite café on Rue Montorgueil, her heels tapping softly on the stone pavements. The sidewalk is alive with chatter, bicycles, the smell of roasting coffee beans. She chooses an outdoor seat. She always does, letting the cool breeze brush against her hair as she writes in her leather notebook. And when it rains, she never runs for cover. Elise simply lifts her face toward the sky, closes her eyes, and breathes in the scent of wet cobblestones. She loves sipping hot tea under the cafe's tiny umbrella roof, watching droplets race across the glass table, listening to the soft hum of the city drenched in silver. Paris in rain feels like music. Her apartment window frames the Eiffel Tower perfectly. Not too close, not too far. Just enough for the lights to sprinkle her entire room in gold after sunset. Sometimes she sits by the window reading vintage French poetry. Sometimes writing letters she will never send. And other times, simply watching the tower shimmer at the top of every hour, as if sparkling just for her. She wraps herself in her wool blanket, leans her head on the window frame, and thinks, "How lucky I am to love a city that loves me back." Elise dresses with the ease of someone born for elegance. Cream coats, silk scarves, red lipstick, tiny gold earrings. Walking through the streets, she feels like a moving painting. People often glance at her and wonder who she is. A writer, a dreamer, a dancer, a girl in love. In truth, she is all of them. On Friday nights, she sometimes receives invitations to private art galleries and candlelit rooftop parties. She always goes alone. Not to find people, but to find beauty. The music is soft, champagne bubbles like stars, the crowd dressed in velvet and satin. And there, under fairy lights, she finds him. The one she secretly loves. A man with warm brown eyes, who always asks her for a dance. They move slowly, gracefully, as though the world outside the balcony has stopped. For a few minutes, Paris spins around them. Its lights, its music, its magic. He holds her gently. She smiles softly. Two souls dancing in a city built for love. Some nights she writes until dawn, the ink smudging on her fingers. Some days she spends wandering antique bookstores or sitting by the Seine feeding birds. Some mornings she laughs with strangers at cafes. Some evenings she returns home with new flowers for her balcony. But every moment, small, delicate, fleeting, she collects like pearls. Because Elise knows beauty is not found in big things. Beauty is in tiny rituals, slow breaths, warm light, rain-soaked streets, sparkling nights, and the gentle weight of a hand holding hers. She lives alone, but never lonely, for she has Paris, and Paris has her. In the soft glow of a Paris morning, she begins her day surrounded by art, paintbrushes resting in jars, sketches scattered like petals across her wooden desk. She adds one gentle stroke of color to her canvas before heading out. By noon, she meets her friends at a tiny café along the Seine. Laughter echoes between them, soft and warm, as they share buttery pastries and stories that feel like sunshine. Later, she rides her bicycle through narrow streets lined with flower shops, the wind playing with her hair, the city humming beneath her wheels. When evening falls, she returns home, slips into cozy pajamas, and watches French TV shows, the familiar voices filling her little apartment like a comforting melody. In the kitchen, she cooks a simple meal, fresh herbs, garlic, soft cheese melting into warm pasta, letting the aroma wrap the room in tenderness. And before night claims the sky, she lights a candle and sinks into a warm bath, lavender bubbles touching her skin, the Eiffel Tower shimmering through her window. A quiet life. A beautiful life. A life she loves in France.